It is officially mock draft season, and the Chicago Bears are going to be busy. And that also means that we're going to be busy as well. Today, I'm going to be starting a new series where we go over draft profiles that I think are going to be really good fits for the Chicago Bears. What is up, guys? Welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And we're going to take a look, a deep dive necessarily, at why certain players are going to be a good fit for the Chicago Bears and who the Chicago Bears should really look into this upcoming draft. Especially, we have a couple picks in the second round, and in the first 3 rounds, we have about 4 picks. So it's going to be very important, especially for Ryan Poles, to nail those picks. But before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. It really helps me create content like this for you guys. So please do subscribe, and let's get on with the video. So we're talking about TreVeyon Henderson here, and you can see that he's 5'10", 208 pounds, from the Ohio State running back who's currently a senior, and his total season stats added to 1,016 yards, 7.1 rush average, 10 rushing touchdowns, 27 receptions for 284 yards. And you might be thinking, this is pretty solid stats for, a running back of his caliber, and, especially under the Ohio State and them winning a national championship. He was a pretty big factor into that as well. And let's take a look at the prospect ranks right now. As of right now, according to NFLDraftBuzz.com, very, very useful website, especially for people that want to learn about the draft prospects, especially me who I know a decent amount of them. I'm just learning as I go. And this guy caught my attention because he is very special, and he's going to be pretty special depending on what team he goes to. And I think the Chicago Bears are a very good, solid destination where he can potentially thrive under Ben Johnson. But before we get into that, let's talk about the prospector ranks. As of right now, he has an 85.5 rating and ranks fourth amongst the prospects in this draft class. And rightfully so, because there are a lot of options. And personally, I would probably rank him higher over Caleb Johnson, but that's here nor there. I feel like they're very interchangeable because they're both really solid running backs for in this draft, and they both have a lot of the similar skill concepts as well. So as you can tell, he's based on his scouting report and his draft profile. He is pretty much in the middle of the pack when it comes to his height for running back, and that is 5'10", which ranks him in the 36th percentile. And then weight is at 35%. And then his 40 time is he runs a 4.39, which essentially is the highest in the terms of this scale, and it's very, very solid number, especially for a running back who really need to utilize his shift, be very shifty and fast as well. And that's something that he really excels as. If you look at the all 22 tape, which is very good, definitely go look into all 22 film on him because he's really fantastic to watch. And he genuinely has a very poise and patience to his runs at times, while also is a very, once he breaks free, he blows by everyone and it's hard to catch up to him. And as you can tell, overall rating pretty solid for a running back, 85.5 out of 100. And as a pass blocking and run blocking, you have to also look at those as well, because those are stats when it comes to a running back that are very important. Is right now his 51%, 69% run blocking. Run blocking is very important because you need to have a size and frame to still be able to, pretend to be an offensive lineman and block for the quarterback to move out and do whatever they need to do in terms of the pass play concept. And as of right now, he's being compared to Jalen Wright from Tennessee, Kenneth Walker from Michigan State, and Brees Hall, who is on the Jets, and from Iowa State as well. And player comparison similarity level is 74%, around the average mark. So he averages to be a workhorse running back in this thing. Excuse me. And as you can tell by his stats, if we can go to his stats real quick, full of his stats, the full story is that he played 4 years at Ohio State. He currently is a senior at Ohio State, and he did have some injury concerns. That's the biggest concern around him as a whole, is that his injury history exists, because in his first year, he bursted onto the field, very solid stats as well, with 1,248 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 27 receptions for 312 yards, for averaging 11 passing yards as well, with four passing touchdowns, excuse me. And the following year, he and the year after, you would say he had some injury concerns and had some injuries throughout those 2 years, which made him miss some time as well. He only like both those years combined, like not combined, for his 2023 season, he had 926 yards, just barely making it to 1,000, and then he got hurt again in 2022, which is a further, I think, a bigger injury in terms of like, especially missed time. And he only was able to get 571 rushing yards with 6 touchdowns. So, and then you bounce back in Ohio State with in 2024, and was able to get 1,000, hit the 1,000 mark. Um, average 7 per carry, 10 touchdowns, 27 receptions, 284 passing yards, and 1 passing touchdown. That's pretty solid stats, especially for a person of his caliber, and especially after coming back from injury. So, if we want to take a look more into the scouting strengths, explosive one step acceleration allows him to hit holes quickly and reach speed in a flash. Absolutely true when it comes to him, because there are moments in games where, as soon as he hits that first step, he's pretty much gone. He will be able to, find a path and openings in the offensive line and blocking that can be very effective in his route running as well. Good pass protection and fundamentals, very important, especially let me move it up a little bit. Very important. And if you're talking about the concept of him being under Ben Johnson, he will utilize his running backs as pass blockers. And I know that's pretty common when it comes to the NFL, because in the NFL, it's very normal for running backs to be in the pass blocking game. But to have someone like him in his stature to be able to block for him is going to be very important, especially when it comes to the play concepts that Ben Johnson is going to bring to the table. And using active hands to engage blitzers, proven big ability with multiple 50-yard touchdowns in his career. That's another thing too. That kind of goes to the same point about the explosive one step. His explosive one step is very crucial, and especially something that the Bears have been lacking as a whole this past offseason. While DeAndre Swift had at moments, when he got on the outside, was able to get those big yard gains and do that one hurdle in against Tennessee, he's just not, I think, athletic enough where he can do all these, or have that insane burst or that insane one step. And that's something that we really hope to have if we were to ever draft TreVeyon Henderson. And what else was there? Excellent vision as well. That goes again to the one step, and as soon as he sees those openings, he's able to, get those big chunk plays and get those chunk yardages, and even house it, because that's very important, especially for the Chicago Bears, who are looking to get a running back that can run. Who doesn't average 4 yards a carry or 2 yards or 3 yards a carry per game or whatnot. And listen, from the statistics standpoint, the Chicago Bears average 4 yards per carry, and that's like ranks below average for in the entire NFL. And that's something that we need to really improve on. And I think TreVeyon Henderson brings that to the table. Um, and exhibits toughness. Toughness is very important, especially when we used to have Montgomery on this team and he's now on the Detroit Lions. Look at how much he's done with his mental toughness and his body and how he's able to be tough. Um, especially you may be asking, well, he's had 2 injuries and stuff, and he's had some injury concerns, right? I don't think that's going to be a case as long as, that injury concern is mitigated. And this year he had a very healthy season in general. So like he's been taking care of his body. I'm speaking of TreVeyon Henderson, by the way. So I think there are some durability concerns, like the scouting report says. Missing in 2022 and 2023 does show some a little bit of hesitation, but I think if we are somehow able to get him in the later third round, I think that would be very, very crucial. Or even the second pick of the second round that we have, that could be very useful for a running back if we do address the offensive line. And I think with his kind of caliber and Roshan Johnson as well, say we don't keep DeAndre Swift and we keep Roshan Johnson. Him and Roshan could be really, really solid because Roshan himself is a workhorse and he's able to get those like inside um, when the play opens up in the middle, when they're blocking in the middle of the offensive line, he will see those openings and try to get those few yards to get it closer, inch closer to the first down. But TreVeyon Henderson can be both that and a pass catching ability as well. So that's another thing as well that can really impact what the Chicago Bears can do. And with TreVeyon Henderson, that could really be helpful. Officially, he also occasionally lacks patience. I think that comes with more training and more understanding of the game. I think yes, he's a senior in college, but he will still get those opportunities in the NFL under a good coaching staff, a good habits to be taught and whatnot. And if the Bears address the offense, that's the thing about this whole thing. This whole process for the Chicago Bears really depends on if we develop that offensive line. Once we develop that offensive line, everything opens up and everything makes sense for these running backs, especially him, especially going from the collegiate level to the NFL. So there you have it. I did my um, overall analysis on TreVeyon Henderson, and I think that he will be a pretty solid option when it comes to that. There are definitely a lot of options when it comes to the running back position, especially this year. That's what I'm saying. This year, if you don't need a quarterback, this is a great draft for you when it comes to skill position players, defensive tackles. When you name it, it's there because there are a lot of them, and that this is going to be a very solid option if we do end up going in the later third round to get a running back because we definitely I feel like if we like don't keep Swift, I think that's the next move is to draft a running back. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be doing more draft profile analysis and giving my thoughts on what the Bears should do with them. Like, let me know in a comment who I should do next. And as always, guys, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.